Of the audience of Channel 27, VCAT, Comcast. Here is Lori Mabolo again, presenting this time another field of expertise of a young artist. And to go to the artist first, I want to pass through the mom. And the mom is here for some questions that are pertaining to the development of this young lady here with us now. And before I forget, our VCAT show is on Mondays, on Tuesdays and Fridays at 6:30 to 7 o'clock in the evening. And here we are with the mom first. And Nicole, when she was growing, did you find something particular or peculiar to her activities, to her things, to her playthings?
You know, Penny, well, we call her Penny. Her real name is Kahala. Kahala was always doing art. Literally from the time that she could hold a pencil, she was scratching things out. And she would use anything. She would use mud, she would use crayons, she would use markers, she would use pens. And even when she was really young, we could see that she had a talent.
Did you prohibit her to do those things, or did you encourage her, or did you even help her?
Well, she didn't need much help. I did try to encourage her, and mostly I just tried to make sure she had whatever materials she needed. And I tried to find opportunities for her to see other artwork and have a lot of different experiences. And I think when you look at her work now, you can see that it's influenced a lot by places we've gone and different kinds of media that she's had access to.
And Mom has something to do with the development of children. Thank you, Mom. Channel 27 of VCAT has a turnaround. From the seniors, then we have a junior now, and she will serve as an exemplar, as an inspiration, and as a pattern for the younger ones and also for this TV station. Now, Kahala, well, do you remember anything in your childhood that contributed strongly to what you are now, especially in that field of painting that you have?
Well, I think ever since I was younger, just the fact that I had things to draw with that really contributed to getting me into art more. And then from there on, I had lots of other influences, like sometimes my aunt would take me to a museum, or I go to a charter school, so we do art sometimes. And just really having lots of different inspiration and lots of different influences helped me to kind of build my profile as an artist.
You're lucky that you have an environment like that. And what would you say to some elders there who try not to encourage, but on the other side, they try to discourage children who take hold of pencils or pens or to scribble things that instead of encouraging, they are discouraging? What can you say to this kind of elders?
Well, I think it's important that, I agree that people have different ideas, and I think it's okay to have different ideas, but I don't think they should try to discourage other people from doing what they want to do. Like, if it's art and it's not really hurting anyone or hurting anything, it's important for people to be able to express themselves, especially young people.
Yeah, so seniors like me, if your grandchild scribbles things on the wall, that might be a sign of an artist, not a sign to be scolded. So take care and look closely and have an artist's eye to see an artist growing right under your nose. So ladies and gentlemen, Kahala will tell us how she developed her talent. What inspirations drove her to do things? What particular elements does she like to do?
Well, I told you that first I started with just drawing, and then later I kind of got into doing this Japanese style of art called manga, and that was when I was probably 9 or 10, And then from there, I met my art teacher, Mr. Orlando, and he really helped me. He helped me to get into the artist community, and he really pushed me to look at more styles of art. And he also helped me get into Open Studios last year, and I think that really helped to get me out there and start doing more work for the community to see also.
Lady, good luck is with you in your life because you met another element that made your desire to paint better. But looks like I saw something about a picture that you took, a picture, a reflection in the water. Do you also do photography?
Yeah, last summer I started doing photography when I was camping with my family, my mom and my brother, and I kept on asking my mom to borrow her camera when we were hiking, and then eventually she was like, "Why don't you just carry the camera?" And so I took a lot of pictures that summer, and yeah, I'm really into it now.
Amazing, amazing, and you are very young at that. How soon? What could you be? What will happen as you grow older? Oh, Kahala, I might not live to that time, but I hope that other people, young as you are, or as young as you, to follow steps that you have taken and be encouraged to develop what they have and to have their elders to, and their siblings to follow suit, because there's nothing wrong in it other than doing otherwise, isn't it?
Yes.
So, what can you tell our younger population, Kahala?
Well, I think it's important for you to find your voice, and I think you need to be able to express yourself through some way. And it doesn't necessarily have to be art or writing or anything, just whatever makes you happy, like maybe doing sports or playing music. Or, but I think it's important to find your path and then get set on it.
Kahala herself in person is asking you, their young ones, budding artists or artists who have not yet been discovered, wake up. It's not late at all. Do something other than doing the negative things. So follow Kahala, and Kahala will be a kind of sample, will be a kind of advisor to you later on, and will be a gem in our Filipino community, and also something that will coincide or that will fulfill the contents of the newspaper as of today by having us exposed to the needs of the younger ones to show up and do something so that at least our environment will change. Your display here on this table, little things that seem to be nothing to me or to a plain child's eyes. What are those things?
Well, in that body of work that I had, I was trying to capture like big concepts like home and love, and I was gonna do that by having like little insignificant objects, like just things that you would find in like a closet or a drawer, and I wanted those to. Well, okay, so when I was going over that piece of work with some of my peers at school, because I originally was working on that project at school, I was we were giving each other feedback, and some of the things they said was that like it reminded them of their grandma's house, like the fabrics, and it looked like something you would find in like an attic or in your drawers. And that kind of inspired me to take off with that whole theme and to make it like story told through objects.
I see. Well, only an artist can understand that explanation, but it's an eye-opener to you, the kids there. And you mentioned about the school, Kahala. School. Did you go to an academic school? Did you go to a formal art school? Or did the school help you? Or somebody in school you mentioned a while ago who helped you And what did the school do to you? Is school contributing to the development of your artistic abilities or detrimental to it?
I think that a lot of the people at school have really supported me in this. I go to Vallejo Charter School, and I'm in 7th grade, and we take sometimes we take art. I mean, you're allowed to take different classes, and so I take art once every week. And Mr. Orlando, as I've mentioned, has been my art teacher for the past 2 or 3 years, and he's been really good to me and helped me develop as an artist. And especially all my friends, they've been really supportive and just help me.
By the way, Kahala, what medium do you use to display your talent?
Usually when I'm drawing, I'll use anything that makes a mark. Like I will use pen or pencil or just any type of ink or anything that will stay. And
Not charcoal? Did you ever try charcoal?
yeah, I don't usually work with that though because it's harder to carry around. Like I always keep my bag full of art supplies right here, and I have my journal and I just carry that around.
Oh. And with this kind of work that you do, have you ever been to exhibits, to shows, or with other artists, or have you ever been to seminars, something like that?
My first, it was kind of a show. It was, I was in a summer camp that at the McCree Godot Gallery, and basically it was teaching young kids how to set up their work in like an art show. And so that was kind of my first showing in the community, and that was, I'm not sure, a few years back. And then this year or last year, I did Vallejo Open Studios, and it was, I was really encouraged by the turnout, and yeah, I think I want to do it next year too.
And I think you need support from your family. Do you have that support?
Definitely, they're really good. But they're really good supporters of what I do, and they've
in
always,
every way?
Yeah, in every way. They've always encouraged my artwork and encouraged, I guess, my coming out to the community as an artist, and yeah.
And what is your project now? Do you have anything at present that you're working on? A big one, something like that?
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna have another show at the Umpqua Bank on April 5th, and the reception is gonna be from 6 to 8 o'clock p.m.
Mm-hmm. And what other artists do you know? Are they inspiring you, or do you feel below them or encouraging you? What can they do in your life?
Really, I don't have any like specific like idols or anything, but I really like. There are so many things that or contribute to my world, I guess, that help me like draw or paint. Like a lot of it is my friends because they're all artists, and like if I read books, or even like music artists, like when I listen to music, yeah, it's just fun to try new things.
So if you are thinking of a specific subject, what specifically do you have particular interest?
Like in art or?
In art.
Oh, well, I like trying lots of different things. I like to draw and I like to paint, and I recently started kind of like sculpting with my the one that I was talking about with the little boxes and the little objects, and I also kind of like to draw comics and just do doodles and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Do you also paint people, faces, or views, or landscapes, or nature? Do you do that? Do you have specific liking for them?
Yeah, it's when I paint, it's usually like a landscape. Although I did a few of people, and one had like one was a close up of an eye. And then when I'm drawing, that's when I tend to draw a lot of like people.
And when you are drawing, what do you feel? Do you feel self-satisfied, or you just draw as an outlet, or do you have a way of life that you try to show in your work?
Well, I think drawing is everything to me. It's my way of expressing myself, and it's my way of like venting when I'm angry or when I'm anxious or anything like that. It's a good way for me to get my emotions out, and also it's I guess I am satisfied when I look back at my work, because it's kind of like traveling back in my emotional story, I guess, because a lot of it is related to me in some way.
And you travel too. As you travel, do you catch particular objects on the way or inspiration on the way?
I think definitely traveling has been a big influence on a lot of my work, especially my photography. Like I said, I started taking photos last summer when I was camping with my family, and I've gone to, I've gone to Puerto Rico and the Caribbean and Italy, and those places have inspired me to do more art. And yeah.
As you grow older, Nico, I wonder, where will you be 10 years from now with such an ambition? And for further information, should you like to contact Kahala, then she will give her...
So my full name is Kahala Penelope Penny Bandy Pasibe if you want to contact me or if you want any more information. And my web address is www.kahalaart.com, and that's Kahala, Kahalla, and then art. And my email is kahalaart@gmail.com, and that's capital K, capital A.
And
I've done it based on one of the places that I traveled, which is St. Martin in the Caribbean. And I was so in love with that place that I couldn't get rid of this piece. It reminded me that I did in the series that I call Little Perspectives. And it was before I had really started traveling a lot of places, and it was kind of my ideal Parisian town, and I really liked the rain, so I was into drawing or painting rain. And yeah, a lot of like female characters, and a lot of people tell me that my drawings or my characters usually look like me, and that's not usually intentional, but this is one of the few times that it is. This is kind of a self-portrait that I did in like the middle of the night when I couldn't sleep, and I was just working a lot with the shine and shadow of my face, and then I was working on my eyes a lot. And that was, I've always kind of been intrigued by eyes, and I like drawing them because it's a good opportunity to work with shading, and just, I guess it's a really strong human feature because it relays a lot of emotion. I started doing photography last summer, and I was on a camping trip with my brother and my mom in the Humboldt Redwood Forest, and we went walking to the Eel River one day, and I asked my mom if I could see the camera, and I just remember being captivated by the way that the sky reflected on the water when I looked over the edge of the bridge that I was standing on, and I took a picture of it, and I just remember thinking that it was really cool how it seemed like the two worlds were crossing over. This sketch actually kind of has a funny story, because when I was in Puerto Rico with my brother and my mom, we were on a rainforest hike, and our guide was talking about how this tree full of berries was the main staple of the birds in the forest, and she said that they were edible to humans, but she wouldn't really recommend eating them because they're pretty bitter. So I was like the last person in the group of people So I was like at the end of the trail, and I took a bunch off of the tree and put it in like, I made like a little pouch out of my shirt and carried it to the car, and my mom was like, "What are you doing with those berries?" And I was like, well, just wait until we get to the hotel because I have a plan. And I usually have like lots of plans, and I have little projects going on in my room a lot of the time, but my mom knows that I'm always good at cleaning up after myself, so she just lets me do it. So we were in the hotel room, and I started mashing up the berries in a cup, and then I used it as an ink, and actually I was surprised by how well it turned out because the consistency of the berry juice was really good for painting with, and it turned out to be a good color, and it stayed. And yeah, one of the first mediums that I ever worked with, ever since I was little, I would draw just because I could hold a pen. And a lot of my artwork I do in my sketchbook, so usually I have to take photographs of pictures in my sketchbook because like sometimes they're just kind of my creative space, so sometimes they're a little bit private. But in some of my work I incorporate quotes or phrases, and this one is an E.E. Cummings quote that I heard before I even knew it was him, but I read it in a book, and it stuck out for me because there was, I don't know, I guess I really like the meaning, and I sometimes use symbolism in my work. Like I have the birds, which to me kind of represent freedom, and hands are also a really common subject in my art because they're good for working with, they're good for practicing lines and shadow and shading and things like that.
Please remember, if you have any comment on this matter, contact 644 or 604, that is Miss Sharon, the director of this program, and yours truly, Lori Mabolo, 647-2373, and watch this channel on Channel 27, Tuesdays and Fridays at 6:30 to 7 o'clock in the evening. So long.